Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and a shorter video today, but potentially a quite exciting one. You see, on the 4th and 5th of March is the Warhammer World Open Day. This is an event just like all the others, which means a few things. Games Workshop hosts some games, people can buy time at the tables to be able to play said games, because it's free to enter, but you'll need to actually buy tickets for certain events, which makes sense. But also, what generally happens during these times is that a miniature, well, multiple miniatures are actually revealed. Sometimes something big, sometimes something small. But something has piqued my interest. You see, some artwork has been posted on the article, which is dwarfs, a faction which we haven't seen miniatures for a while. Now, these aren't the overlords, these aren't the Fyreslayers, these are honest-to-goodness dwarfs. In fact, they've even got the old-school horns on the helmet, which is just like, yeah, this is classic. Which might mean that we will see some dwarfs, though something quite interesting to note here is the art itself isn't really new, barring one of the dwarfs, but if you look at the orientation, it's changed around. However, yeah, this is End Times Bugman Rangers art, which means that we might see some sort of Bugman's Rangers being shown off soon. The fact is, it's very likely that this is for Warhammer Underworlds, but it could actually have some implications for the future of Warhammer The Old World. So why is this for Warhammer Underworlds? Well, simple enough. When they start getting ready to do a faction overhaul, they start showing off miniatures quite early, well, new miniature design styles in a warband, because these boxes usually have 3 to 5 miniatures, and it's easy for them to show. If you remember the Lizardmen / Seraphon, that's what they're called in Age of Sigmar, long before this new stuff started being shown off recently, we already saw the new design style in Warhammer Underworlds. And seeing as the Dispossessed Dwarves currently fall under the Cities of Sigmar army book, well, it's called Battle Tome for them, it can be assumed that the Dispossessed Dwarves will remain there, unless another dwarf faction ends up appearing, or there is a huge dwarf book which combines the Fyreslayers, the Overlords, and now the Dispossessed. There's been a lot of changes through army books and compositions and alliances over the years with Age of Sigmar that it's actually kind of hard to keep up. Hell, at one point the Firebelly, which is an ogre / ogre, was at one point its own army by itself. It was just kind of weird. But the fact remains that this is not new art, yet they're still using it to hint, so yeah, the design is likely to stay the same. Which is good, don't get me wrong, I'm actually quite excited about this, because if dwarfs look like dwarfs and not naked berserker types, well, that aren't slayers, but apparently are slayers, it's a very weird thing with the fire slayers, and you know, the whole steampunk look, but more of a classic feel itself. This makes me think that there could be implications for Warhammer The Old World too. A lot of people have been saying that we're likely not going to get Age of Sigmar models in Warhammer The Old World, mostly because of the size increase, as it looks like a lot of stuff is moving up to a larger scale to 32mm in general. We've seen that with zombies, for example, in Age of Sigmar. We've seen that now with the Saurus. They do look a little bit bigger. They're not going to rank up on 25mm unless you have really intricate systems with your basing. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of Warhammer, not just Age of Sigmar, is increasing in base size. The Guardsmen for the Imperial Guard, Space Marines in general. The fact is, yes, they're getting bigger for base size so they can do bigger models and have a lot more detail. And that's something that I'm expecting for Warhammer The Old World too. We can still use our old models if we wish, just like Games Workshop confirmed, it's just they're going to need a bigger base. It's just how it is, and to think that it's not going to happen is kind of weird, considering that, yeah, it's happening for every system. The dwarves have yet to get a proper update for Warhammer The Old World yet. Well, updates can be a bit of a weird word, because it's literally just verbal confirmation that they're coming, which we already know because they were already confirmed, some fluff and just some details regarding their backstory around that setting, and that's pretty much it. No miniatures just yet. But it would also make sense that if they're going to show off some dwarfs for Warhammer Underworlds, which I imagine those specific miniatures won't be used for Warhammer The Old World unless you decide to use them as like makeshift characters and stuff, that they'll also do the dwarf update for Warhammer The Old World, as they're kind of just sporadically going around the world. They've done Cafe, now they did the Tomb Kings recently. But the World's End Lanterns are next to the Empire, so... And you also have to take into account that for the past 2 months, so January and February, the Old World posts have been more or less around this time. Actually, the February one, which was the Tomb Kings, was on the same date range, so I could imagine that they're going to do another post around that time too. It's definitely perfect cross-promotion, and it would definitely work to hype up both fan bases, which is something that Games Workshop should in theory try to do rather than create a artificial divide. It's kind of weird to see everyone arguing when one gets news over the other, because we're arguing over toys, guys. Toys. Now, obviously there's going to be people that are going to say, no, the Age of Sigmar miniatures won't be used backward compatible, but guys, you are aware that a lot of your roster for Age of Sigmar is actually just Warhammer Fantasy miniatures. This has proven that it works out quite well. We've seen cross-compatibility with 40k and 30k, so it's definitely going to be something that is going to be explored by Games Workshop. This means that, yeah, not a lot of dev time needs to be spent on new miniatures, and to be fair, come on, right? Like, the new Saurus, the new Lizardmen in general, from what we've seen so far, look absolutely freaking awesome. So, yeah, if it's not going to be used, a lot of people are going to figure out how to use it anyway. Hell, if you just go on to some of the Warhammer The Old World groups on Facebook, these are fan groups, you'll see people using the new Chaos Warriors and ranking them up on 25s. It does take a little bit of effort, but they do it. And I think that's really, really cool, because at the end of the day, these models do look very good. And hell, they're coming with full command. They're coming with some of the weapons that you could actually use back in the day, like, for example, the ones with the halberds. So it's not out of the question that these could just get reused. Obviously, all this is speculation, but we've heard the rumors, right? We've heard the rumors of cross-compatibility, we've heard the rumors of bigger base sizes, and we've heard the rumors in general regarding Old World and how it's going to work. This kind of lines up with the possibility of those rumors, so I don't know. I really think that if we see new dwarfs for Age of Sigmar, standard dwarfs, honest to good dwarfs like we know from Warhammer Fantasy, those will be the designs that we'll see, or at least a stylized design that we're going to see in the future of Warhammer The Old World, and I'm kind of excited about the idea of that. The fact is, either way, if you haven't played Warhammer Underworlds, you should, because it's a pretty fun game. It's actually one of the best that Games Workshop currently have active, and many of those miniature designs I use to convert, or sometimes just use them in general, because they're cool, and I use them for Warhammer Fantasy as characters. Time will tell. It's only about a week and a little bit away, so hopefully we'll get some good news regarding this. Hopefully they'll just outright confirm. I'd love it if they just said, yes, some models from Age of Sigmar will be backward compatible, as it could already generate sales for them. I think that's a really big thing. But we're going to have to wait. Obviously, we know that Games Workshop kind of hint and kind of insinuate something, and then it's just something completely different, which is really disappointing. I do wish they were a bit more transparent, but I understand them because it's Games Workshop and they're just strange in general. But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I know many of us are waiting for Warhammer The Old World news. I know it's once every month now, and that's good, but it's clearly not enough. It's just kind of disappointing. But yeah, also Age of Sigmar stuff, you know, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, have a good day, guys. I'll see you all again very, very soon. And let's hope for the best.